Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Starrapter. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about more from the High Republic, the brand new time period told 200 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. This video is my initial impressions with Star Wars Light of the Jedi, which is the book written by Charles Soule, which will kick off the entire initiative of books, comics, and as we learned, some video games. So jumping into it, this is really like our movie trailer, if you will, to get all the fans excited. It's awesome that Del Rey put out the first 8 chapters for us to read for free. I will put the link down in the description below so you guys can check it out if you want to read them. I will be talking spoilers, and keep granted, right, this is going to be something that everybody can read right now. So if you really want to go into the High Republic without knowing a single thing, then maybe you should just watch this after you read the book. But other than that, my initial impressions were, wow, this is really great. And you guys know I've been really keeping up with a lot of the news on the High Republic. I've been focusing on that almost more than anything else in Star Wars fandom right now, just because I'm purely excited for this kind of Star Wars storytelling. But wow, I wasn't prepared for Light of the Jedi. So we got the first chapter released like a couple of months ago, and it's really sort of like a prologue for what happens. You have the Legacy run, the ship that gets pulled from hyperspace, and it's, bits of the ship go throughout the galaxy and cause like hyper matter missiles that basically will just threaten life, and it's called the Great Disaster. And in these first 8 chapters, we learn about the Great Disaster, the ramifications of these a little bit slower than light speed projectiles that are hitting planets in the Hertzal system, which will just wipe out life. Like, these things are basically worse than nuclear bombs. We actually see the magnitude of these things. We see how the physics are working. We hear from certain characters' perspectives about how they go through the atmosphere and they just like bring fire and death upon the people on these planets. Like, nobody is safe. So they progress. The way Charles Soule writes the story reminds me a lot of the Aftermath series, where we have the Aftermath interludes, which tell different stories about the fall of the Empire after Return of the Jedi. I got that same sort of vibe here, which to me is a great way to introduce new readers to this brand new era of Star Wars storytelling that we haven't explored in anything else before. We get different perspectives of characters throughout the Hertzal system that are dealing with the same event. This is, as Charles Soule likes to put it, a disaster movie, and I totally get it here. There's a countdown at the beginning of every chapter. Not really sure what is going to culminate when that timer gets to 0, but it leads to lots of tension and lots of stakes. And we open up with just the pilot of the Legacy run, that first chapter, seeing what experience is like in the Republic. It's a peaceful time. The next chapter, we get somebody just working on a satellite installation in Hertzal system before he gets vaporized. Yes, there's a lot of death in the High Republic Light of the Jedi. I almost imagine as Charles Soule, like George R. R. Martin with this universe, he kills a lot of people in these first 8 chapters. Characters that he builds up that I really started to enjoy, only to see them just die, which was a little bit sad, but it just speaks to how great of a writer he is. These characters that Charles Soule introduces that aren't even the Jedi are just so fascinating to me that I want to learn more about, and that's what's so great with him in these 8 chapters. Is the world building is absolutely fantastic. We are seeing the Republic and the Jedi working together in unison in ways we've never imagined. They are just so tightly knit together, but they are not domineering over each one, right? They're just separate, but they're also connected. We hear planet names that are in the current Star Wars. We see different species that we're familiar with that are both Jedi and maybe just a regular, your everyday guy. And we see perspectives of people on the ground, people in the ships. There's so many cool ship designs. The new Vector Jedi ship. We have the Third Horizon, I believe, is the name of the capital ship of the Republic that is in a Hertzal system. We have the long ships, I believe they're called, which is kind of like your 20-man, 30-man gunship. So I love the ship designs and the names and what goes behind them. And man, oh man, the thing that stood out to me the most is, of course, the Jedi, right? Light of the Jedi. There better be some good Jedi content in this book. And let me tell you, my mind got blown a couple times with how good Charles Soule writes the Jedi. Now, let me tell you, Charles Soule is no stranger to writing Star Wars. He has written in my opinion, some of the best Star Wars material, but it's been in the comic book realm of things. And this is his first Star Wars novel full-fledged that he is writing, and I really do like the prose, the way he writes. But the Jedi, oh my gosh, guys, we see those Jedi on the cover of Light of the Jedi. You have Avar Kriss, who is basically like the Bastila Shan from Knights of the Republic in this universe. I will say it right away. She basically almost has a sort of version, not exactly like of battle meditation. She's able to use the Force to connect to the other Jedi that are trying to defend the innocent on these planets that are getting ravaged by these pieces of the machine going through hyperspace. And we haven't seen Jedi like this ever. These Jedi that we hear stories from, you know, Ben Kenobi telling Luke about defenders of peace and justice, we see that here. There is no kind of empire. There is no separatist. There is no opposing faction. The Jedi serve as defenders of innocence, and that is what they're doing. And it almost brought a tear to my eye, like seeing the Jedi actually in this form for the first time, going to do their best to save these people from imminent destruction, and the way they are connecting with each other and even having a good time doing it. I will say one of my favorite relationships I've seen in this story so far is between Bell and Loden Greatstorm. You got him, his Padawan in the Vector, which is like basically a little Jedi starfighter. It's a two-seater. You got the Padawan and the Master that often travel together, but they are on the same brainwave. And the way Loden Greatstorm trains his Padawan of Bell is just such a great, it's just such a great relationship. They're just, you know, there's a lightheartedness there, but there's also kind of like this mentor that will not make it easy for his Padawan, and how he makes his Padawan make these really crucial decisions without giving him too much help. And just that whole dynamic between those two characters is great. But the fact that they, at this one point, this is where I'm going to go into spoilers, if you won't want to be spoiled, there's an awesome thing that happens where there is a piece of the matter of the ship that's going through hyperspace. They cannot target it with the actual telemetry of the ships themselves. They have to use the Force. So the Jedi are tapped into the Force because Avar Kriss is able to go into a trance where she's able to strengthen the bonds of communication between the Jedi. It doesn't matter how far the space is between them. They can all be on the same wavelength. And the Jedi actually use the Force together to focus the energy from all their ships to actually precognate and find out where that piece of ship is, to maybe blast it apart. And then they find out that there's living beings on there, and oh my gosh, we can't do that. So it leads into another big twist, and that is kind of like the end of the first 8 chapters. But oh man, guys, as you can tell, I'm just a little bit excited about talking about the High Republic, because as somebody who's been really anticipating this, hopefully I was going to be reading it by now. It's okay. We got to wait like 2 months now, but this is not going to disappoint. I think every Star Wars fan should be excited for the High Republic, because we are getting content we haven't seen before in Star Wars. It makes it feel like it's Star Wars, but in the past. They really do a great job of just making it feel different enough, but in a way that we've never seen a Republic before. We've never seen a Jedi before. And I think that is just such great storytelling behind Charles Soule. And to remind you guys, it's not just this book that is coming out. We are getting the High Republic comics from both Marvel and IDW. We're getting Into the Dark by Claudia Gray, and we are getting A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland. So there's just so much on the horizon. Plus, we're getting like the second wave in the summer with some more books. So there's just so much to look forward to, and I cannot wait to talk more about the High Republic with you guys. What did you think? Did you read these first 8 chapters, and was your mind blown like mine? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars, you can check out my Mandalorian discussions with my buddies Milton and Ben over on the channel. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe for more High Republic content. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.